Perfect. So, welcome to the Round Pen Live. If this is your first time here, I'm super excited that you're here. What is the Round Pen? Honestly, it's just a place where professional horse facilitators inspire innovative ideas. And so, who are the professional horse facilitators, you might ask? Well, it's not me. It's each of you that show up. And whether you're showing up here, whether you're showing up in the round pen, whether you're showing up in your own personal round pen with clients, you're the professional facilitator because this work changes lives. And I think when we all step up to that level of professionalism in this, we truly can change the world with horse facilitated development. And so I'm going to back up. Why did I call it horse facilitated development? That's what I call this work. Why? Because equine assisted never sat well with me. Because at the end of the day, the horses are the ones that are changing lives, right? It's not me. It's those horses. It's the innate knowing that they have. It's the reason we work with horses. And it's honestly, I would say the reason that we all are here is because a horse changed our lives. And so for me, it was that space of really honoring and acknowledging that the horses are facilitating the change or the horses are facilitating the development in the human. Then that leads to the question, well, what are we here for? I always say, the horses are the gurus, but we get to, and we allow ourselves to step into that high level to contribute at the highest possible level. And so again, if this is your first time here, I'm thrilled you're here, and I hope that you really get a lot of value out of the next hour. And if you are coming repeat, thank you so much. I love seeing these familiar faces. Of all these faces, hey, Lynn, who just showed up. It's great to see you there. I've really only met, maybe one or two of you in person. And so, although I do feel through your professionalism that I've been able to know you. And so I did hit record. Where is that going to be? You can find us on YouTube at Equine Entrepreneur. Okay. So, a little bit of housekeeping we always jump into. This is meant to be interactive. So this is not me talking at you, okay? This is a do with kind of partnership. And so use the chat. I love to know where you're from. I love to know your questions. I love to know where your ahas, what's hitting for you and where it's not, and so use that chat. If you can, turn on your camera. I don't give a rip what you look about, what you look like. If you go look at my live in the round pen from an hour ago, I'm clearly out running, chasing horses, looking like hell. That's what we do. We're equine entrepreneurs. So if you can, hey, Sandra, nice to see your face. I don't care what you look like. I love to see your camera. If you're driving, it's all good. We have another crazy life happening in the background. So if you just want to mute out, and yes, we're recording, you can find it on YouTube. So quickly, won't go into this. Who are we? Equine Facilitated Way or Equine Entrepreneur. My business partner, Jessica, and I always say we know how this game works because we're in the trenches too. We do this work. I do this work on a daily basis. I'm out in my pasture with clients, with, getting clients, with clients, marketing, I mean, all of those pieces. And so for me, my background's business. And so I was fortunate enough to be able to take that business piece, apply it to this, and fill my facility quickly. But the piece for me is that the world doesn't know about equine facilitated development or equine assisted learning or equine psychotherapy, or I just work with the magic of the horse human connection. And I'm not certified, but I want to share this work. You're in the right place. And so we do premium programs, we do mentorship, and we do certificate programs. And so, oops, I went backwards, not forwards. You can't burn me for my tech skills because I'm an equine entrepreneur, not a tech entrepreneur. So, giveaway time. So I do have the momentum map. I promised you. The problem is that my link's not working and I'm not a tech. And so what I want you to do is send me a private message afterwards. I need about 15 more minutes. With my horse running away, I didn't get the time to do this, to send this to you. So all you have to do is send me a private message on Facebook, and I'm thrilled to send this to you as our gift to you for showing up live. Okay, so the momentum map, just really getting it. I always say you got to know where you're at to know where you want to go, right? It's really easy to kind of have this big vision out there, but not when you don't know where you're at. And that becomes a moving target. And so it's always this, I've got a definite chief aim, I've got a purpose that's out there, and I don't know where I'm at. And so it's really about finding that place so that you can take that bold, grounded action. So please, at the end, send me a message for showing up live. I'll be sending you this. Okay. So opportunities. I'd love to know. So turning initiative into opportunities in your HFD business. So I'd like to know, what's your take on opportunities? Do you create them? Do they show up? Do you find that you have them? I would just like to know in the chat, getting the chat going, what type of opportunities have been happening in your world And why do you think they came there? Why do you think they got there? And you know me, I'll always wait for the chat. This is interactive. We learn when we participate. So let's, is opportunity luck? Do you create it? Do you find it? Roxy, all of the above, created, called in, and gifts. So I like the way that's written, Roxy. And there's no right answer here. I mean, again, I think we live in a world where we think it's gold star. Back to kindergarten, when the teacher went by, and if you did it right, you got a gold star, like lick and slap on your paper, right? And the problem is we all chase that gold star. There's no right answer. And I just bring, what has been helpful for me. I'm not saying that it's right. And so, Sandra, I find that opportunities don't come with a bugle, I don't know that word, but rather we need to recognize those spaces that can become opportunities. I like that creative side. Find, create, and innovate. Innovate's a powerful word. We plant seeds and they grow. Yeah, cool. So again, no right answer. We're not going for this gold star syndrome here. We're just following the breadcrumbs as to what we believe, right? Oh, a bugle. Sorry, Sandra, I should get that. A bugle, like a horn that we blow. Yeah, they don't come with a bugle. I love that. We got to recognize them. Thank you, Sandra. I appreciate you. There we go. I think a well-connected network is important to create ourselves up for opportunities. Yeah, you know what? You're right, Frock, because it's easy, especially as equine entrepreneurs, to stay home and not be part of, maybe the network that's going on in the world and not see what's happening out there and debating whether I need to change my target demographic. Well, we definitely, if you check out YouTube, I've got a lot of videos on niche that should help out with that. So I would say you should be one step ahead of where you just were. That's your people. So initiative into opportunities. So this thin line of separation. So what do you think separates, again in the chat, what do you think separates those that drift through life and those that create their own success? I'll give you a sec. What do you think separates those who drift through life from those who create? Okay, what's the chat telling me about this? And again, never right. Thoughts become things. Yeah, isn't that the truth? Action coupled with action. Initiative, motivation, all the things, right? Every guru in the world will tell you what we need. Those who do versus those who wish. Yeah, that's a good one, right? Well, it's a thin line, that thin line of success and that thin line of quote failure, right? Drifting through life or creating a life. And I do believe that each of you are here because you do want to create a life, because you do want to create transformation and change in horse facilitated development. Well, I believe that it's initiative. And so what is initiative? I think if we're going to say that it's initiative that creates success, we need to be able to define initiative, right? And so I like Napoleon Hill defines initiative as doing the right thing without being told. Showing up when no one's watching, right? Doing the thing whether it benefits us or not. Seeing a space that needs to be filled and stepping into it. And so if we hold that space of initiative, separates those that drift through life and those that create our own success. And we know that initiative is simply doing the right thing without being told. Are we stepping into that, or are we sitting on the backside of that thin line of separation? And so here's the thing. People will readily, willingly, and voluntarily follow people that show by their action that they're a person of initiative. Okay, so I'll say that again. People will willingly, readily, and voluntarily follow the person that shows by action. Call it inspired action, because I like to say that. But by action, they're a person of initiative. Initiative comes from intention. Yeah, totally. And so thinking in your life, can you think of a time where you followed somebody? There was a leader in your life that you were willing to follow because based on their action, you knew they were a person of initiative. You knew they were a person that was willing to take that next step without being told. Can you think of a time? And again, in the chat, maybe it's a person specifically, maybe it's a celebrity, maybe it's somebody in the horse world. Oh, thanks, Lynn. I wasn't going for that, but thank you. Again, people will follow those people to the end. But that's not a piece that's made up. That's an action piece. And so each of you, and so someone's saying constantly following the creator, Warwick Schiller. Yeah, totally. And so the beautiful part is that thin line of separation, being initiative, you can today make that decision that you're a person of initiative. And we're going to do some more kind of quantifying on that. Okay. I present mirror awareness about what we do. Unfortunately, the people are too far away to come to my facility or are not ready to move ahead at this time. So you just keep taking initiative. The whole thing about initiative is it's doing the right thing without being told and without expecting any results. And so you don't even have your eye on who those people are. You're taking the initiative because it's the right thing to do, because there's a space there that needs to be filled that you, in your niche and your genius, can actually fill. And so I've seen my students step up on their own initiative. Kelly, how does that feel to see your students step up on their own initiative? I look at people, I look at children, I look at youth who step up on their own initiative. And I don't know about you, but you know what I think? They're going to make a mark on this world, who lean in, who step in when nobody's asking and maybe nobody's watching. And in another slide, I say, nobody's clapping yet. Yeah, big joy. And so our horses mirror how we show up. They don't follow hesitation. They follow conviction, clarity, and consistency. Just like people following initiative based on action, conviction, clarity, and consistency. And so are you the type of person today who would follow yourself, who your horses should follow? It's like that leader without a title, right? That person that when nobody's watching, you hold yourself to that level. Roxy's saying yes. What about the rest of you? Because it's a thin line. It's an easy to walk the line and drift. Life can become easy and we can drift and wait for opportunities. Or we can step into this place of understanding. And Lynn just said, you bet. You got to get onto Facebook and follow Pura Vida Ranch. Lynn has been taking initiative based on action. She's a leader that I would follow today. Why? I don't know Lynn. I've never met her in person. But if you watch Pura Vida Ranch, they just brought in a chapel. They have Highland cows. They've got beautiful things happening constantly. Based on her action, she's a person of initiative. I am readily, willing, able to follow the person like Lynn, who based on her action is showing initiative. So how does initiative, and I'm going to say that word so many times, bring opportunity in horse facilitated development? Okay. So number one, you got to take the initiative. And so seeing initiative, seeing a space, understanding that there's a need out there is not enough. You actually have to take the initiative. And so seeing the initiative, stepping into the place of taking the initiative. When you take the initiative on something, this is about moving into action. Because initiative is leadership. Okay? You can't be a person of initiative and not be a leader. The two go hand in hand. But leadership can be defined as action. And so seeing the initiative, taking the initiative, and moving into aggressive. And you might not like the word, which is why I picked it. This is meant to push buttons, but then I put inspired. This is not about efforting. This is not about the hustle. This is about aligning yourself when you see a place of initiative. You see a gap, aligning yourself into aggressive, inspired action, and then doing more than you're paid to do. And that might rub for some of you, doing more than you're paid to do. So you see initiative, you move into aggressive, inspired action, and do more than you're paid to do. So here's the thing, is that the world grants the biggest prizes, the biggest honors, the big opportunities to the ones that not only think initiative, take action, and do more than they're paid to do. I guarantee if you look around at the people that are truly, quote, successful in every area of their life, pardon me, the honor, the fame, the money, the opportunity came from seeing it, taking inspired action every single day before any results happened, and doing more than they were paid to do on a daily basis. And so I actually have a story, and I won't go into it too far, but I was at an event. I was walking to a concession. I always pick up garbage off the ground. I always take the initiative to do that, and I always take the action to do that. Is it more than I'm paid to do? You betcha. But is it my job to take care of this world and honor and steward this world when there's garbage on the ground? You betcha. And so one day I was walking, I picked up garbage on the way to the concession, didn't think anything of it. Long story short, a businessman saw me do that. He offered me a six-figure job. I didn't take it because I didn't want the job. Fully offered it to me. I followed him up. I went there. I did more than I was paid to do. From that one action, he began to follow me. My past career was real estate. He ended up buying millions and millions of dollars of real estate through me. Why? Because I took the initiative. I did the aggressive, inspired action, and I was the type of person who does more than I'm paid to do. And so again, that opened up an opportunity that I didn't take of a six-figure job that led to a larger opportunity of millions and millions of dollars of commercial real estate, because I'm the type of person who brings initiative, takes action, and does more than I'm paid to do. And so this isn't just, that's divine, I love that word, about doing more. This is about becoming more, okay? This is about the leader that opportunity can trust. Write that down. Are you the type of leader that opportunity can trust? The big opportunities are reserved for those that take initiative, take action on the initiative, and make it a part of who they are to do more than they're paid to do. So I want to know in the chat right now, scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like, no, I'm not that leader, and 10, I am 100% in becoming that leader without a title, that leader that opportunity can trust. This is just an honest place of where you're at. You got to know where you're at to get to where you want to go. So I don't care if you write a 1, good for you. You know, and this changes day by day, but it gives you that space to aspire to. And so it's not about doing more, it's about becoming more. Okay, so we got some 6s, some 7s, some 8s, some 9s, some 10s. There might have been lower. Again, there's no gold star. I prefer you to write 1 if that's where you're at, because it gives you, whoops, the kind of place that you can grow to. So there have been years of preparation. Now is the time. Yep, no one's going to crown you worthy, Roxy. It's go time. All right. I don't know where that red is coming all over my screen. I apologize. I clearly am writing. So the spark of initiative. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I know I'm just telling stories today. The spark of initiative for me, this was in 2018 or 2019. I was a real estate broker. I owned an office. I had 25 people working for me. I was at what most would have called the height of my career. I had been doing therapeutic riding on a volunteer level on the side. And I'll tell you, the reason I did that is because I always told my realtors, get out, go volunteer doing what you love, do what you love. People will see you doing it at that. They'll see you as a professional, and then you'll meet more people. So they said, well, what are you doing? And I thought, you know what, you're right. I better, kind of take my own advice. And I went to a therapeutic riding. And that starting initiative of going to therapeutic riding, which honestly was just to help a whole. It was, I told them I would do it. It was to help a whole. I went there. And then I began to love everything about therapeutic riding. I'd had horses growing up, but I realized my heart lay in that space of transformation in humans. I also realized for myself that the transformation in humans never happened when they were on the horse. It was always when they were on the ground. And one morning I woke up, and call it initiative, call it probably intuition. I woke up and there was this place, and it wasn't logical. There was nothing logical about it, but it was intuitive. There was this piece of me inside, scared to death to open my mouth to my husband to say, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do horse therapy because I had no other way to word it at that time. Again, it was this place of totally illogical, but totally intuitive, totally initiative. It felt like standing in a round pen and knowing that the horse would move if I moved, that I had to go. And within 48 hours, I walked into my real estate office and told 25 people that I was leaving. I was moving to bare land. I was going to build a house. I was, all of these things with this big view. But all I had at that moment was initiative. And so within probably 6 months, I had sold, I had left, I put a manager in place, and I moved to the middle of nowhere onto 300 acres of bare land. Within a few months, we built a house. And that spark of initiative, I don't know why there's lines keep going in the house, moved to a place where I had to move into aggressive, inspired action. And so I started to talk to people about what I now call horse facilitated development. I started to tell everybody that's what I'm doing. I'm here. I'm building a place where people can come for transformation and growth. And I probably said horse therapy at the time. Within 6 months from that point, October of 2020, and that's where I met Juanita, we were open. We were open in a tiny little town of 900 people where everybody said nobody will do horse therapy in the Robson Valley. Within less than a year, 11 months of that, we had the largest equine federation in the world come from the UK, the FEI, and do a documentary on our facility. How did that happen? Took initiative, massive, aggressive, inspired action, and I always did more than I was paid to do. And so this isn't about me. This is about you. The moments that make it all happen. Those moments that you don't wait for permission. If I had waited for permission, everybody in my world would have told me, Tamara, you are a business person. You've spent your entire life in real estate. Who the hell do you think you are? Thinking that you're going to change lives with horses. Okay? So I had listened to everybody around me who said, we're in a real redneck town. Nobody will do horse work in the Robson Valley. I wouldn't have opened. If I had expected that every one of my clients would have come from near where I am, I would never have been able to build the business in horse facilitated development. But it takes initiative, it takes inspired action, and it takes always doing more than you're paid for. And so, we got some chat. I better get in there. But I want you to think about a moment that you didn't wait for permission. I'm going to get into the chat. When you move, everything changed. So it's intuition in action. It's innovation in action. And so I want to know, and it's initiative in action. I want to know in the chat, what's the moment that you didn't wait for permission? Might be in your horse work. It might be, this is Carl, who's come to say hi. Might be in your horse work, might be in a relationship. Think about initiative in a relationship. You see someone that you're into, and that hole's there, that gap's there, that person's there. If you want to move forward, you either back off and miss the opportunity, or you step into it and you start taking massive action towards that. You do more than is expected in that place of a relationship, because otherwise you don't get the opportunity, right? And so sometimes it's easier to take it out of the piece that's important to you, out of horse facilitated, and look at, where could this be in other areas of your life? And so in your life, think of a moment. I want to know in the chat, you didn't wait for permission. You leaned into initiative, you moved, and everything changed. Juanita, I took the initiative in 2019 when I opened the farm during a youth suicide crisis. Amazing. And Juanita, I want to follow up to the question. Were you scared? Did you have nerves? Did you sometimes wonder, like, am I doing this for nothing? Okay. Glynis, you're there right now. Awesome. Okay. So I know there's a lot more of you. Put in the chat. What's a moment you didn't wait for permission? Okay. You moved and everything changed. Roxy, we bought bare land in 2007, did the same as you. Yeah. We moved 500 miles to do it. 2022, Lynn, yeah, created the beautiful Pura Vida Ranch. Lynn, after my brother died and my daughter was sexually assaulted, I knew I had to do more. But I think you did one step further. It was a deep knowing, but then you stepped, right, Lynn? You took massive inspired action. And I guarantee you did more than you were paid to do. Christelle, I took my EL certification without knowing what I was getting myself into, with almost no horse experience. Amazing. Look at that initiative. Almost no horse experience, and you went and did it, right? So incredible. We have to celebrate our successes and be able to look back to be able to move forward. I love it. Everybody else, let's get them in there. Lori, many times over the years. Yep, huge. Glynis, I'm not brave enough to step out of real estate and dive 100% into horse therapy. I'm so fed up with myself. So start small. What's the initiative you would take today? 2017, moved from GA to MN and created Sunflower Ranch, a community sunflower field with no pay. Transition to EAL. Incredible. Give yourself grace, it will come. I love the support you guys all give each other. Very cool. Okay, so you can do it. Because it is. It's truly a moment that makes it all happen. So it's initiative in action. Okay. So if we go back to our definition of initiative, and I need to go back, it's doing more than you're paid for. Sorry, one moment. I got to get back to I'm sick. My brain doesn't work quite like I'd like it to. The right thing without being told. The right thing without being paid for. Decided to do EL, which led me to getting my MS degree and building an EAP business. Love it. Quit my job in 2017. Took the leap of faith to start the charity. Incredible. You guys are incredible. This is initiative in action. So the connection, I talked about this at the beginning, between initiative and leadership. Okay. So initiative and leadership. So with initiative and leadership. So you can't take initiative without stepping into leadership. But leadership truly is stepping into action. And so horses don't care about your plan. They care about your energy. And so making a plan to step into leadership will never be leadership. Making a plan to take the initiative will never give initiative. And so if initiative and leadership are the same thing, we need to start moving, right? This is where that massive inspired action. And so leadership begins when you stop looking for somebody else to take the first step. Ooh, does that cut deep for any of you? Leadership begins when you stop looking outside of you, when you stop looking for somebody else to take the first step. Leadership is never found in those that have not acquired the habit of taking initiative. Leadership is never found in those that have not acquired the habit of taking initiative. And so this is about being the best you. This is about you stepping up to a much higher level. Imagine when you're at that high level of initiative, of seeing initiative, stepping into leadership and taking action. Imagine how your horses respond, because they can finally move. They can finally move with your energy, right? And so leadership, especially in HFD, is not about dominance. It's about presence. Leadership in 2025 is all about presence. It's all about that space inside of you. Because the intuition that I get to take the next step is completely different than Lori or Glynis or Dawn or everybody else on this chat. It's about that presence place of you. Okay. And so I'd love to know, where in your business are you waiting for someone else to lead? So I'm not asking the question, are you waiting for somebody else to lead in your business? It's where. And I can ask myself the same question. Where in my business am I waiting for somebody else to lead? Because we now know that people of initiative who take initiative are leaders, and leaders take action. So love to know in the chat, where in your business are you waiting for someone else to lead? Is it clarity? Is it confidence? Is it clients? Okay, funding. Yeah, Let's get them down. Where in your business? Just start typing it out. Where are you waiting for somebody else? Clients, getting clients, marketing, location. This is great. Social media. Tell my friend took it over. Direction, so many threads, clarity. I'll say one thing about clarity. The more you take action, the more you step out in a place of knowing the big picture, not understanding the small, clarity will follow every single time. Advertising, great. So I love this, right? It's about finding this place of understanding that you're waiting. An initiative and waiting are energetically two different places, right? So initiative and waiting are energetically two different places. And so in business, leadership is about setting the tone. You set the tone for your business. I'm going to tell you, as many people as I attract into my business, I detract. That's not the word. I turn off. I repel. Why? This world's energy. Because the initiative that I take will bring in certain people. The action that I take will bring in certain people. And guess what? It'll turn away people as well. And so that's the beauty of this. You are uniquely you, and that's your superpower. And so in business, you set the tone for your messaging, your marketing, your movement, and your growth. So I'd like to know in the chat, 1 to 10, how intentionally and how happy are you with the tone that you've set or are currently setting on your messaging, your marketing, and your movement in your horse facilitated business? And the beauty is you get to decide today and you get to change today. 7s, 9s, 10s, 3s, need some works. And it changes daily, right? It's like anything. The further you get away from your genius, the further you get away from your niche client, the further you are away from the tone of the messaging, the marketing, the movement that you want in your business. Okay, great. Doesn't matter the number, it matters that you know. Okay? It's all good. Genevieve, 3 needs a lot of work. You're in the right place. You're showing up, right? And so here's the thing. When you lead yourself, your audience follows. When you lead yourself, taking initiative, stepping into leadership, and taking bold, massive, inspired action. What does inspired action mean? It's the action that only you could have come up with. It's that place of, this might sound weird, but I think I'm going to do this. It's that place of, I'm going to pick up garbage and someone offers me a great job and I'm going to turn it down and it's going to lead to a larger opportunity. Okay? When you lead yourself, your audience follows. And here's the beautiful thing. So does your horses. How exciting. That's solid, strong. Yeah, just do me. I love this. I love that. Yeah, so when you lead yourself, your people follow. We get so worried in this world about the ones that we turn off. Great marketing, great messaging, great movement, great leadership should attract the right ones and dispel, that's not the right word, I'm sick and I can't grab the word, but dispel, disattract, turn off the wrong ones. Because there's no quicker way to lead yourself into burnout in horse facilitated development than doing the right things with the wrong people. Working in your genius with people you were never here or meant to serve. Release, great word. Thank you, Roxy. Roxy's got my back today. And so turning initiative into opportunity, okay? So how can we turn initiative into opportunity? When you pour your energy, when you absolutely pour your energy into value, service, momentum, before it pays you, you create increasing returns. The world rewards movement. The world rewards initiative. Those big pays, those big honors, those big fames are reserved for those that not only take initiative, but based on their action, prove to the world that they're the type of person that opportunity can trust. And so, are you putting your energy, value, service, and momentum, regardless of whether you're getting paid, into your work? Love to know in the chat. Are you? Or are you reserving the best of you for the clients that come and pay? We got a yes. Again, I don't care if it's a no. But are you truly? Because I'll tell you, I give a lot of value, service, and momentum. But if I'm honest about it, am I giving all of my energy, value, service, and momentum that I could? No. And that might sound super harsh. You're like, well, Tamara, why are you not? Because it's not until I lean into the space of holding myself in initiative and holding myself at the highest possible level that I know there's a level. There's a higher level. And I always say there's a level beyond success, and it's called significance. The world reserves the highest opportunities, the largest pays, the most fame, the most honor to those that lean into doing more than they're paid for every single day. I had to be able to heal me to be able to move into momentum. Yeah, what a great awareness, right? And so leadership is presence, right? And from a present place, we can become aware of what's needed for us in our world. So I love that, Lynn. You've just got great awareness. And so it's about doing more than you're paid to do. So many people will say, well, I'm not paid to do that. No, I wasn't paid to pick up garbage that day. That was a pivotal moment in my life. Not only did it mentally put me in a place of understanding myself and the world better, created huge opportunities, and the financial gains are massive, absolutely massive. And so how do we do this in horse facilitated development? Would love to know in the chat, what is it, right? And so I'm not talking about just giving away the farm. I'm talking about stepping up to the highest level, stepping up for people. So one of the things I love to do is speak about horse facilitated development. And so this is something I do because I believe this work changes the world. So this is an example. I love to speak at Rotaries, at Business After 5, at networking events. I hate to stay afterwards, but I love to be in that place. Does it always return me? Absolutely, tenfold, every time, because I'm passionate about this work and what it does. People hear that and go, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that initiative. People will follow voluntarily the person of initiative who proves based on their character of action, and they'll voluntarily follow them. And so that's one idea. What is the other ideas for yourself? So I'll always speak about this work. Let's hear it. You can, what else? What else is doing more than you're paid to do? I don't do it because the increasing returns, but I guarantee the increasing returns are there if you become a person who does more than you're paid to do. So in the chat, what do you do? And again, it can be, fully free things, but what are those things? What are those things? I follow up on nudges. When I get a nudge, and maybe it's following up with a client and giving them a call because I got a nudge about them. Am I paid to give them a call to say, hey, how are you doing? I just want to know if you ever followed up with X, Y, and Z. No, that's on them. But if I get a creative nudge to do that, why would I not do that? If I have the ranch visits help family and ranch visits. Great. And again, if you do it for the business, well, that's kind of maybe a problem. But if you do it because you love it, Roxy's absolutely right. The pro bono always comes around. I always speak about the work, even looking for facilitators in other areas. Yeah. So you speak about the work. Someone does ranch visits, someone's teach and be present for the one when you would like to have more in the experience. Okay, great. Bringing in a mini donk. Hey, Liz, I didn't see you there. I'm bringing in a mini donk to a fundraiser to a local boys and girls club this afternoon. I love it. And again, I'm not telling you to sell the farm. That's not the idea here. The idea is showing up in initiative, doing more than you have to do, doing more than you're paid to do. When I was networking, I loved to share the passion of my EL every Christmas. I follow up with past clients, loved hosting open houses, share my knowledge in other groups. Yeah, the whole thing is that how you do one thing is how you do everything. When I went to volunteer at that ranch, I just wanted to be helpful, right? I talked to the realtors about go out, you're going to meet other people, you're not going to talk about real estate, you're going to go be helpful in an environment that you enjoy being in. Showing up at that ranch, the stories that I can tell you from that ranch, I got way more out of that than they ever did. That free time, that pro bono time changed my life. The stories there, the things I witness, the things that I get to witness every single day. At the end of my day, at the end of my world, If I wasn't being paid to do that work, I would show up and do that work. Now, people do pay. Why? Because they get great transformation results. But it's about doing more with no expectation. Visit the farm, meet the horses. Great. Yeah. Do meet the herd. Do a open reflection time. I think, and this might be a paid thing, but again, doesn't matter. Somebody on here, Lynn, has seniors out, right? How touching are those little reels that you see where Pato the horse goes into the old folks' home or goes into the cancer clinic while people are dying, right? You show your leadership, you show your initiative, you show your strength when you step out into that place of doing more than you're paid to do. Okay, any other, dove into horses by volunteering as a barn manager, creating a thriving volunteer community, caring for rescued horses. Yeah, and now you're creating a thriving business based on that time that you dove in to volunteer as a barn manager, that you had those God-given skills that you could share and create a thriving environment. Inviting community agencies to come and visit the ranch and the horses. Totally. In my community, I've numerous times invited our social services workers, that's not the right word, but the like the therapists and the workers, and said, like, I really think that you guys could use some, and so inviting them out, knowing that they can come out at any given point. Has that turned into a hell of a lot of programs? You betcha. Way more than we could possibly even do. But it's on that genuine base place of come out, meet the herd, because at the end of the day, every time there's something tough, they need a reprieve as well. So I need to see what time it is. I get talking. Oh, better keep going. All right. So showing up consistently. I was supposed to say consistently, but my brain's not working. Oh no, with consistency. When no one's clapping yet. Notice when you say to yourself, but I'm not being paid for that. Are you the type of person that walks by garbage and picks it up without even thinking twice? You don't do it because somebody watches you. You don't do it because you might have known the person. You do it because we clean our planet. Okay? Are you the type of person that shows up when no one's clapping yet, when no one's watching? The world reserves its big riches, its big fame, its big honors, and its big opportunities for those that show up with consistency, bringing those pieces, the best of them, when no one's watching and no one's clapping. Attending a mental health first aid course next week. Dual Reasoning on that was invited as they sat in on a presentation. Fabulous, right? Excuse me. When you move beyond what's required, opportunity notices. When you move on beyond this is what I have to do, and cut it at that, I'm not being paid, I'm not doing it. It's not my garbage, I'm not picking it up. It's not my child, I'm not going to help. You move beyond required, opportunity notices every single time. I get a lot of pushback from therapists, so that was probably talking about the social work. One thing I find with Christelle, it's also part of the reason I invite them out, because I know the horses. I know every time people show up and I can help them get into that place of presence. That's my job, is to make them safe with the herd, help them sit in that place of presence. They always find, in a place of presence, there's no walls, right? In a place of true presence, there's no competition, because that's generally what it is. It's competition, right? In a place of true presence, if you can get people and hold them in that place, that's our job, is to stand in a place of presence ourselves and mirror that unwaveringly to the client. You create a space where the horse can show up every single time. And so it's breaking down walls. To sit and talk to a therapist or a educator or a mental health aura, because I don't want to, put people in boxes. Words don't teach. This is experiential. Okay. My rule of thumb is he who speaks first loses. Okay. I keep talking, I lose. Pause. Come meet my herd. Well, can they work with PTSD? Come meet my herd. Are they good with kids? You betcha. Come meet my herd. Caught over and over and over. We're experiential. And so here's the thing. Aligned is the new hustle. We talk about initiative, we talk about leadership, we talk about action. This is about aligning with what's most important to you. Okay? Aligning yourself with that big end goal. Stop worrying about if you're being paid for it and starting to align yourself with that inspired place. But inspiration hits. You have to be willing to take that next step of action. Okay? It's not enough to take initiative because there is no leadership without action. And there's no initiative without leadership. So it's not enough to have a spark of initiative. You have to become the leader right now, today, step into it, that space of leadership and becoming the leader that opportunities can trust. So let's do a little round pen reflection. Okay, I'm going to do it as well. I'm going to mute my camera for a sec. I want everyone to close your eyes just for 1 sec. Okay, it actually kind of goes along with your soul purpose. So go ahead, close your eyes. I think I can cut. I don't know how to even do this. Sorry, just 1 sec. I'm having a problem with my camera. Yeah. Okay. So I want you to go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to imagine just for a moment, okay? Just for a moment that you're standing in your round pen, or you're standing in your arena or your paddock, or wherever you would go when you are with your horses, the horses you work with, any horses. I just want you to get in that place. I want you to notice for a moment with your next deep breath, I want you to block everything else out except for your sense of smell. I want you to notice in that moment what you smell. I'm blocking everything else out with your next breath. I want you to breathe in through your mouth. I want you to notice what you taste. And the next breath, I want you to notice what you feel on your skin. Blocking everything else out. What do you feel on your skin? And your next breath in, I want you to hear. What do you hear around you? And as you open your eyes, I want you to notice your horse standing there quietly, waiting. You feel your ground, keeping your eyes closed, but in your mind, keeping your eyes closed, you're looking around, you see your horse standing there quietly, waiting for you. You feel the ground beneath your boots. What does it feel like? In this moment, you are the energy that brings movement. You're the energy that brings initiative, and you are the energy that steps into leadership. Now, with the next breath, I want you to take 1 breath of initiative. And as you breathe that in, take 1 step forward and watch how your horse responds. When you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Okay, turn your cameras back on. That's how life responds to you. So what was that breath of initiative? What came in for you? Where in your life, where in your life or business are you being asked to move first? I want to know in the chat. Where in your life or business are you being asked to move first? This is about following the breadcrumbs. This is not about knowing the whole path. And that breath in, that horse waiting for you, that breath of initiative. Connect to the lady who offered her help. Yeah, focus on family healing. Actively look for a location. Stop waiting. I love that, Genevieve. That's an interesting line. Actively look. And then the second part, stop waiting. The duality of that, right? So cross out that stop waiting. Actively look right now. The initiative is to actively look. And there might be all these fears come up, but I can't afford a place right now, or I can't move right now, or I can't. Actively start looking. The world rewards initiative with opportunity. And you don't know what that best, highest best could be. Finish my bot to manage back end support to free me up. Perfect. Making myself and my work visible without fear. Yeah. The initiative to just take massive aggressive action on that. Psych K can shift those yeah buts. Absolutely. And some of you have taken Psych K and horses. Be using it. My horses want more time and attention from me to listen more closely to what they're saying. Beautiful. So that's the initiative. Get into that aggressive, inspired action and do more than is expected. Pardon me. And again, we think about right off the bat, that's always pay. Well, for Juanita, my horses want more time. You know, the expected line in the world of what's needed for your horses is probably pretty low. They need to be fed, they need water, they need a clean place to be. Again, I don't agree with that, but that would be expected. Do more is this piece, right? What's the time and attention? Okay. Anybody else? Lean in, right? Get it out. Where in your life or business are you being asked to move first? The world wouldn't ask you to do it if it wasn't in you to do. What bold step could open the door to the next opportunity? Okay. Again, this is about following the breadcrumbs. You know, I always say that it's not about knowing the whole thing. It's about what's the next logical, intuitive initiative step you could take. So get in the chat. What is it for you? Take care of the little student who needs attention. Totally. My mom always said, if you take care of the little things, the big things take care of themselves. And that reminds me of that, Kelly, in there. That one student, you know, there's a quote up there, something about don't underestimate that a small group of people can change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has. Something like that. And it, you know, it's that piece of, you know, going over and above for that one student could make all the difference in the world. Create the next program to start marketing. Okay, so that's your next opportunity. Everybody else, I want to know what next step are you taking to create the next opportunity? Except working with children, that's all that come to me, and I do not work with young kids ever. Okay, so focus to what you do want, right? So many of us focus on what we don't want. Start leaning to what you do want, right? Great marketing should turn off the wrong people and turn on the right ones. Stop waiting for permission. Totally. And Christelle, we all feel that at some point, right? That gold star. We are so conditioned to, you know, you do things right, we'll tell you you're doing great, but you never get that as an adult, right? Okay, so I hope everybody has a next step. And you know me, I like to up the ante. This is my favorite question to ask myself. What would I do if I was 10 times bolder? Okay? Every one of you have within you a 10 times bolder. So I'd like you to look at your next step. Not that it's not good enough, but I want you to put it through the 10 times bolder test. Read that. It's not, you know, is there something I would do? You get your mind working when you ask questions as opposed to making statements. Get into the habit of asking your mind questions to get to your subconscious as opposed to making statements. And so the question I ask you, and I ask you to ask yourself, you just saw that step, that one step forward. You saw how the horse respond, that breath of pardon me, that breath of inspiration, right? And the breath of, sorry, I'm having a hard time breathing. My next question is, what would I do if I was 10 times bolder? And that's what I want to see in the chat. Asked 3 people to help me find a location, shared my needs with my husband. Fabulous. Huge step. Huge step. Get the infrastructure projects finished. Great. So what's the first 10 times bolder step to doing it? 4-H groups to work on energy exchange from horses to humans and beyond. That's huge, Juanita. Huge. There is so much need and interest in this work. It's us that hold it back. We wait for permission. We think we're not good enough. We wait for someone else to crown us. We think we need to be more, be a therapist, all these other things. We think we don't. Again, I live in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and the facility is full. Are most of those people coming from here? No, they're coming from all over. Why? Because we believe in the transformation results. Get the infrastructure. Sorry, I need to get down in the chat. Break into the corporate world to offer team building and leadership development. Sandra, huge world. That is an absolutely huge world. So you see the initiative. My question to you, Sandra, is are you willing to step into the leadership, into the massive 10 times more bold, inspired action? And are you willing to do more than you're paid for? Because if so, guess what? The corporate world is always looking for people to speak and motivate to their clients, to their employees. Always. They're always looking for the next person to come on their meeting, come on their call, come to a conference and speak. Guess what? You go there with the intention to deliver more than you were paid for, which can be zero. Guess what? They come show up. Next thing you know, you're booking opportunities show up for the leaders they trust. Okay, what else do we got? Get the speaking gigs to introduce a program. Totally. Again, Sean Paul, I'm sure you've got Rotary in your area or business groups that meet or business after 5. I know. I was in a business where I need some ivermectin. Yeah, I was in a business where I looked for speakers every week. You betcha I would have brought somebody in doing this work. Not easy to answer. It felt bold asking 3 people to ask people they know. Okay, so Genevieve, this is that space of you already did the 10 times bolder. So it's not letting external create your internal. And so if it felt bold already asking that, that is your 10 times bolder. So then it's waiting for the next intuition piece, the next initiative piece, and then doing your 10 times bolder in the middle. So great job. I've been breaking my butt with nonprofit world. It often ends up they don't have the funds these days. Right? So again, sit with that. What's the initiative? What's the initiative? I had that when I started. You know what my initiative was? I started a sponsorship program where I partnered with local businesses, and the local businesses, I advertised the hell out of them, and they sponsored people. And we were able to create that. Get networking and speak. Yeah, there's huge opportunities in all of these pieces. So lean into your 10 times bolder and burn it into your consciousness. So want to change your life? This is about living the fundamentals of initiative, leadership, inspired action, and doing more than you're paid for. If this is all you did with the rest of your business, you showed up in your business and your life. How you do one thing is how you do everything. If you can show up in every area of your life, looking for initiative, looking for those spaces where you can step into, there are true spaces of help. Not what you want, but what you can actually help with. Then you step into leadership, which leads you into the massive inspired action, not knowing the road. I never know the road's not paved ahead of me anymore than it's paved ahead of you. But I'm willing to believe that if that inspiration and that initiative showed up for me and it's mine, that if I step into leadership, I step into massive inspired action and I do more than I'm paid for, I can change my life. And so this is about truly burning it on every level into your consciousness. Another chat here. Thanks for being here, Lori. We're almost done. Because every time you take initiative in business, in barn, in life, in relationships, with the children in your life, with your animals, and everything else, you rewire what's possible for you and the world and your community and your neighbors. And honestly, it becomes so easy. So burning into your consciousness means living it, not thinking about it. Not hanging up and saying, oh, I got to run off to an appointment and I'm never going to actually do this. Life's simple. Lean into the gap. Lean into the holes. Lean into that place of initiative. Take action on it. And take action on it without any sort of expectation of a return. And you'll watch the opportunities in your life unfold faster than you can decide which ones you want to grasp onto. So butt kick time. You can't, this is a Henry Ford, I saw this the other day. You can't build a reputation on what you're going to do. I love that. I don't know about you guys, but we all know tons of people who talk about what they're going to do. You'll never build a reputation and change the lives that we're here to change in horse facilitated development talking about what you're going to do. Horses don't care about what you're going to do. They care about the energy that you're actually doing. And so when you take initiative, when you take massive initiative, Yeah, good intentions, exactly. And follow it with that present leadership. You don't chase opportunity, you attract it. You become it. When you do more than what is required, again, you find that space where opportunity can trust you and opportunity shows up. And so I always say in the world of force facilitated development, there's opportunities everywhere. There's people everywhere in the world looking for transformation and growth, looking to become something more, looking to change, looking to whatever it is that your niche is, but they're waiting for you to show up. It's like you're sitting there waiting for permission. You're sitting there thinking, I don't want to take that one's not mine. I don't want to be a leader. I don't want to take action on that today. I don't want to do it if I don't get paid. And you're sitting there holding a key to someone's lock as you think about all the reasons you're not going to do it, and they sit there locked. If you have this belief that people don't want anything to do with horse facilitated development, understand that begins with you. Because there's people everywhere looking for this work and wanting to know how they can move forward and change their lives. So as we hold the vision and take the steps, it happens. I had a great experience with that this week. I love it. It felt wonderful to feel the transformation with this person, the horses, and the sun. Yeah, absolutely. And so as we close up, I really hope that you lean into this. You lean into that space. You know that there's so much more of you. It's like new level, new devil, right? There is a level beyond success, and it's called significance. And it's about leaning in to that space in front of all of us that we know is there. And we probably know it's there for us. But it's that space between thinking and doing, knowing and doing, that holds us in that place. And so I want to finish up with something a great mentor of mine, Angie, taught me. And it was, I'm the type of person who, and you fill in the blank. So it's not I'm learning to become the person. I'm the type of person who, non-negotiable, walks every day. Or, and again, I'm just throwing things in, right? I'm the type of person who sees initiative and takes it every time. I'm the type of person who picks up garbage no matter what. And again, I keep using this example, but how many, maybe of you in the back of your mind thought, well, why would I clean up garbage that's not mine? How you do one thing is how you do everything. Do you hold yourself at that highest level of excellence? So I'd like at the end, as you finish up here, I want you to post in the round pen, I'm the type of person who, and fill in the blank. What's most important for you? We all get to choose. Remember that thin line we talked about between the people who float through life and the people who find, quote, success? It's the decision of I'm the type of person who. So for me, takes initiative, does more than I'm paid for. Takes massive inspired action, regardless of how I know I'm going to get there. But I'd like to know what yours is. And so thank you for being here. I hope you do take up on that challenge. And it's about becoming. So I'd like to know in the round pen. And if you're not in the round pen, find us on Facebook. You can find it right here and scan that. Our next Round Pen Live, free Round Pen Live, is November 20th at noon. So it's also a Thursday, 4 weeks from now. You can throw out your topics in the round pen, which you'd like to be seeing. But again, I'm going to be looking in the round pen. I'm the type of person who, and lean into that space today. Okay, we're not waiting to that. I'm the type of person who. So thanks everyone for showing up. You're looking for the recording. It'll be on YouTube. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks everyone for showing up. Lynn, the next one is 4 Thursdays away. I think I said it was the 20th of June. 4 Thursdays away at the exact same time.